I accidentally discovered a new problem, and that problem is yarn. In 2025, I wanted to be hobby focused. I wanted to diversify my hobbies, and I ended up just finding one and letting it take over the rest of my life, and that is crochet. So this is everything that I made in 2025 with somewhat of a general guideline of when I made them, but for the most part, I think they're a little jumbled. Backstory. I already knew how to crochet. I learned when I was 11 or 12, maybe. So I was trying to get just a general understanding of technique again that I forgot and probably never learned properly in the first place. And I made this little hat. And it was the first thing that I made, and you can see the end was never finished because I just started. And I thought that it worked perfect on my little duck light. So he's been wearing this proudly for a year. What I actually made for the first time was a black coaster for my mom because her favorite color is black. And she has her coffee every morning, so I made her a coaster for her to have her coffee with. It's not symmetrical, so there are some issues with the increase, but it was that. I think this was from a Skillshare class. The main star of the year probably was the Woobles Harry Potter Gryffindor lion. I knew that I wanted to crochet again in 2025, so at the end of 2024 I found the Woobles Harry Potter line of characters, and he's just so cute. He's the best. I love him. So this is my Gryffindor lion that sits on my Harry Potter bookshelf. What else did I make? I made this, and it's very loud, so I'm not going to move it around very much, but it is a little hooks and tools bag for crochet. I have all of my hooks in here, and to say that I hand sewed these magnetic buttons or clasps is a little generous because I just kind of, I don't know how to sew or hand sew, so I just weaved fabric through, or weaved DMC floss through, and it's fraying and coming off, and I'll have to patch that up at some point. But this is probably my most used item because I use it every single time I crochet something. So this was, I think, if the Gryffindor line was the first finished one, if we're not counting this, then this is my second project. I winged it. I didn't go off of a pattern. I just did it, and I wish I would have done it a little bit differently, so maybe I'll do a new one this year, but it has served its purpose very well in the first year of crochet. Continuing with my lack of patience when it comes to patterns, I made this bag. It is more like a laptop bag, and I found this strap on Amazon. I found these metallic hardware off probably Amazon as well, maybe a craft store, I don't remember. But this was my tote bag that also has gotten a fair amount of use out of it. This was with t-shirt yarn, and I'd already bought the yarn and already started before I read up more on t-shirt yarn and how heavy it is, and boy is this guy heavy. Once you also add the actual laptop and notebooks and pens and all of this is like my library bag. If I go work at the library, I will put everything in there. So I love it. I use it. It's just heavy, heavy, heavy. The next thing that I made was these were all kind of made probably in the same weekend, to be perfectly honest. When I said this took over my life, I meant to find more active hobbies. When I said to diversify my hobbies, I ended up just finding one very, very, very sedentary hobby. So I just laid for weekends at a time crocheting. And it's not necessarily that I'm mad about it, I just think that my body was mad at me for it. I bought yarn when I started, and that includes this, which is a fine color. The other book cover that I made, I haven't seen since May. I don't know where it is, but it was a terrible blue, so I can't say that I miss it very much. I just don't know where it is. But I made this book cover. This is from my Bible. The other one was a hardback cover that I also sewed a hand sewed. I don't know how to. I just weave the floss in. I also put a button closure on it. And I find that I don't like them. I don't like button closures because when you try to stack, I just stack everything in my life. So when I try to stack things on top, it just is, I prefer just flat. So I didn't make any more of those. I also made this. This is for my iPad. I've also had this yarn since I was probably about 12. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be for a baby blanket, but here we go. This has also gotten a fair amount of use out of it. My travel, I have matching everything. So my travel luggage and accessories are all like a tealy blue. So the very depths of one of these colors matches that. So that's kind of why she's stuck around. Maybe I'll make a new one of that at some point. The next one. So I made these coasters. I followed a video. Don't remember which one, but I'll find it. I made these coasters. I thought they were beautiful. I thought they were lovely. I had leftover t-shirt yarn from the tote bag that I made like a pot for it to sit, and it sat right on this table. And the pot was always lopsided. It was terrible. Didn't use a pattern for the pot, but I don't know where. I thought I made 3. I only have 2. I don't know where the other one is. Since I decided that I hated the pot so much that I took it apart. These have just sat here, and my ceramic flowers sit on them, and then when I need a coaster I can borrow them, but this has nothing to do with anything. But these are ceramic flowers from a Christmas market in Budapest, and they're my most prized possession. So they sit there. Next, I made a variation of those flowers, but I made them in white, and they were a gift, and I don't have them. Next, I made more coasters, but these were like succulent inspired for a gift as well. I'm sure I have photos, but I don't have the actual things. But when they bunch up and they look like a succulent, when you just do this, you just bunch them and they end up working out when they're all together. But these were the duds. These were the ones that were like lopsided, and that I didn't realize they were lopsided until I was already done with them. So they became mine, and I use them in my office downstairs. So what's next? The bag. I gave a tote bag another try, and I made this bag. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's not good. When did I finish this one? I finished it in July. It's January, so I haven't used it. My intention for this bag was to bring it on my European Christmas trip. I went to wet weathered places, so I decided, do I want to be walking around London with a wet bag of yarn? Probably not. So I ended up not bringing this on my trip. I had every intention for this to be a very fun, Christmassy, Santa looking something, but oh well. The iPad sleeve was actually after that. Then I made a Kindle sleeve for my friend, which is a gift, which I will show a picture of. The winter scarf, I need to find that. I was on Pinterest and I was looking again for my European trip. I was looking for scarves to make. At this point, I hadn't made, let me double check that. At this point, I hadn't made a wearable, and this made me nervous. But I did end up making a few wearables in the year that gave me some lessons to learn. But the scarf itself, I was on Pinterest and I found a picture, and I'll put it here, of a beautiful scarf. The issue is I basically wear monochromatic colors, and I was wanting to bring it with me to Europe, so I wanted it to be flexible with outfits. So I ended up just playing it safe and making it black, and I really love that I made it black. It has pockets. This is the scarf. It's really pretty, and it has a heather gray, charcoal gray type border. I really, really like it. It's massive and long, and here are the pockets. I don't think I want a scarf without pockets ever again. I would knot it around my head, and then I'd put my hands in my pockets, and then I'd just like hold myself walking through the streets of Vienna and Budapest, and it was really lovely. It was wonderful. So that's my scarf. I'm crazy. So I made a beanie that was the inverse of the scarf, which I found to be very fun. But I found with this, I made this beanie and I made this Christmas beanie. I made these too big. I don't know if it's my head, but my head does have a problem with some beanies. So I don't know, but I really liked this beanie and I loved it walking through Christmas markets in Europe. It has I think it was called, what was this yarn called? I have a picture of it. It was called Sizzlin' Cinnamon, and I think it's perfect. Then again, I'm not mad about it, but I probably looked crazy. I had the scarf, and then I had the beanie, then I made a vest. Yeah. And then I had the beanie, and then I made a sweater of the Sizzlin' Cinnamon. They weren't worn together. I will preface that they weren't worn together. Should they have been? I don't know. But here they are. I really liked the sweater. I liked the vest in theory, but the fit wasn't my favorite. The sweater fit better than like how I wanted a sweater to fit. The wearables taught me some hard lessons. I didn't use like written. I did for the vest. I used a written pattern that I'll bind. I think the beanies and the scarf, I just looked up a random beanie and scarf TikTok, Pinterest repost, something. The sweater, what did I use? I think I might have, let me look. I think I might have watched a video and modified. Nope, I think I just winged it, and I actually do remember asking ChatGPT for help during the sweater, because I was like, if I'm at row this and I need it to go here, and then like what do I do? So ChatGPT helped me with the sweater. I really like the sweater. The lessons that I learned, I did not block them. I still don't know how to block. I think I need to learn how to block and block them to make them more comfortable and cozy and give the yarn a little bit of stretch, give something. But I had a fun time, and it was really fun walking around my Christmas markets on my perfect, beautiful Christmas trip in very Christmassy, matchy yarn attire. So mission was accomplished. I'm not mad about it. It just consumed me for a few months. Oh, where did those go? Where did they go? I really wanted to make seasonal coasters. So I made 2 coasters for like Halloween and fall, and I have no idea where they are. I'll put pictures. One was an eyeball, one was a pumpkin. Oh, this one was sad. This one was really sad. So I made where is it? Before the sad story, I forgot. I made this lens case that was probably one of my proudest projects, because again, I didn't follow a pattern. I just winged it. And it is really functional and wonderful. So I made, I had every intention to make more of them. However, I realized that when you don't follow a project and you wing it and you finish it, you don't know what you did. So I don't know how I did this. Which is a bummer. This was really sad. This was my sketchbook holder, and it worked beautifully until I was in London. I was on the tube, and I don't exactly remember how it happened. It was a mix between really needing to pee and all of a sudden getting very anxious, and I got on the wrong tube, or I got off on the wrong tube stop. Something happened, I don't remember. And I'm sitting and I'm like, why is my hip getting wet? And my water bottle had completely leaked, and my sketchbook got drenched. This got drenched. This was fine until it got wet and soaking wet. And then all of my unfinished ends that should have been finished that I didn't finish properly started completely coming off. So now this is just not usable. And I don't like the colors anyway. And it's terrible, honestly. This was the project that had the, in my brain, I sketched it out. I had my idea. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and it really didn't work. And so I will 100% be giving this another try with something else. That I didn't realize my duck was still on. That scared me. I will be giving this another try because I really liked it. Probably 4 uses I got out of it. I was in Kensington Garden and I like pulled this out, pulled my sketchbook out. I had all my pens. I had my pen, like my pencil. It was wonderful. I have like a little pouch for my eraser. I thought it all through. It worked great. And then literally 3 days later, it got soaked on the tube, and that hurt. That hurt my heart. This was also for my trip, and it's just a little coffee cup sleeve. I don't drink coffee, I drink tea. I have a picture in Notting Hill with this, and I have a picture in Oxford with this. And it was so fun. It was so fun being able to make things and be like, world, meet my creation. Creation, meet the world. Hope you're best friends. So I had a great time with this. I made this coaster and I messed it up. So that's why I only made one of them, is because I got annoyed. I also think I ran out of this yarn. But anyway, my Sizzlin' Cinnamon yarn came in handy again. This was a coaster for Christmas, and a lot of coasters were gifted. So I gifted family these peppermint candy type coasters, and they were like sets of 4. I think I did 40 of them or 30 of them or something crazy. I have never had a more fun time. I was cozy. Harry Potter was on. I had either a tea or a hot chocolate, and just doing the exact same pattern over and over and over and over again. And it was wonderful. I love a coaster. I don't foresee myself stopping making coasters anytime soon. I loved making all of those coasters. So if you know me, you're probably going to be gifted a coaster at some point, because I think I'm just going to fully lean into making seasonal coasters. I was thinking about that today. Like, this could be a dual Christmas, Valentine's Day, but it's almost February. So I need some Valentine's Day coasters. I don't, but I can make them. I know I have red and pink yarn somewhere. So here we go. The last thing that I made in the year, the last finished thing that I made in the year, was another scarf. And unfortunately, contrary to what I said earlier, I did not make any pockets and I ran out of yarn. When in London, I came across a yarn store. I found this stunning bright blue yarn, and I ended up wanting to make a scarf from it, but I ran out of yarn. So then I went online and I couldn't tell if the lot number was the same, but I found this yarn from a like Austrian website, and I couldn't tell if the blue was the same. So I ended up getting the light blue and just making it a multicolored yarn, or scarf. But this was a really pretty stitch. I don't remember the name of it. And it makes this really, really pretty backing. And then I really like the ends. I think that was a fun border. I don't remember what it's called, and I don't know how to do it again. But that was my final finished piece of the year. I really enjoyed relearning. I really didn't know how to crochet when I was younger, but I learned the basics and I really enjoyed diving back into it. I'm very bad about, I don't even know, project pacing. Is that Would that make any sense? I don't know, but when I get a free Saturday and I decide to start a project, I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything else. Why don't I just sit here and do it all day and not eat and barely move? And like I get very obsessive with it, which is really bad. I get that way with books. With a book, if I'm loving a book, it's just all plans canceled. Hey, by the way, I'm sick all of a sudden and I need to sit here and finish my book. I can't do anything else. So crochet helped me not be that way as much. I actually think that I got a lot better with that towards the end of the year. Probably 6-8 months into crochet, I was just, but especially those European outfits, those little Christmas outfits, those I was tunnel vision for. And I am happy to announce that I've gotten better about that. I have a lot of yarn. 2025 was the year of Joanne going out of business. So I went on a crazy spree. I will put a picture of me in the store at Joanne. I'm currently looking at 3 gigantic bags of yarn, like huge, filled to the brim bags of yarn. And I'm getting a little bit of decision paralysis with some of my crochet projects, although I believe I am keeping a Christmas tree up all year round, and it is on my list this weekend to start crocheting some Valentine's Day ornaments for that tree. That is my 2025 crochet summary. I had a really fun time, and I made a lot of really cute things, and learned a lot crochet-wise, and just creative brain, patience, pacing, less obsessiveness. So I'm excited for 2026. I'm hoping to make more gifts. 2025, it was slightly selfish, but it was like I didn't really know what I was doing still. So I didn't make a lot for other people. I was still just trying to get, is this even good type, get past that hurdle. But I feel like I picked it up pretty quickly, and it really helped my brain turn off when I needed my brain to turn off, and I need my brain to turn off most of the time. Now, hopefully 2026 will actually be the year of hobby diversification and less tunnel vision obsessiveness. Maybe not, but that's my 2025 crochet. And I have so much yarn. So I'm excited to make more.